You're listening to Not the Sermon with Eric and Jamie.
What's up, sermon nuts? Oh, there's nothing? That's it? You just leave me hanging?
That was planned. That was great.
So
I'm
just
doing
looking at
good.
each other.
Yeah, I'm good.
So, I would like to start this podcast episode, or epi, off by apologizing to Alex. Alex, we were beginning to get a little frustrated with you this morning because you weren't on time. But I walked out to put creamer in my coffee, and you were out, so we had locked you out.
I don't have a key. I am not the pastor, so I don't have a key.
Yeah, I was like, I guess Alex isn't coming. And then Jim's like, no, we locked him outside.
We didn't trash you. We hadn't gotten to that point, but we were kind of like,
But there was
where is he?
There was a little something there.
It's like, what's he doing?
It was festering. I was waiting.
And I look outside. You're just standing there outside the door.
Well, I was on the phone, and I was like, I need to call him, but I can't get off the phone. And I was like,
so I do apologize for that. We'll be better in the future, or maybe not.
So I've gone down a new rabbit hole on social media, and I love it.
Speaking of tractors,
so I have been following this guy his name is Eli Yoder, and he's an ex-Amish. He's an ex-Amish, and he's a truck driver now, but he talks about his experience growing up in one of the most conservative sects of the Amish community.
Yeah.
First off, I didn't realize that there was a spectrum. Like there are the new Amish who
and you're on it.
Yeah,
there's a spectrum.
Yeah,
for
there
everything.
is. Yeah, so but there's like the new Amish who will have they're allowed to use batteries sometimes, but then there's like the regular Amish,
Sometimes.
and then there's like the hyper conservative Amish who it's definitely cult. It is a cult. And so he was a part of the ultra conservative, and he was telling this story the other day of a guy named Sam Mullet. Have you ever heard of Sam Mullet?
No,
Dude,
Are you making this up?
No.
Okay,
I promise. He was he founded this group of Amish in Ohio and turned it into a mafia. It's an Amish mafia.
Really?
And they're low church, and so they're all kind of loosely connected. They have like bishops in the community, but one community may not know another community, stuff like that. And so this guy buys this property in Ohio and declares himself a bishop, giving him power over the whole community.
Wow.
And then they're so conservative that, again, there's like abuse and stuff going on in there. And so families start leaving his little cult thing that he made. And so then he enlists other people in his conservative community to do a mass beard cutting.
What?
So apparently cutting your beard is it's like the worst thing you could do
anathema.
to an Amish person. It represents their marriage apparently. And their whole faith. So if you cut your beard, you get excommunicated.
It's their total identity.
Yeah. And so basically he gets this army of Amish men and women to go and track down these defectors, and then holds them down and cuts their beard. Then he gets charged with a hate crime, gets sentenced to 15 years in federal prison.
That's crazy.
And is still controlling his cult from prison.
Wow.
His name is Sam Mullet. It's a crazy story.
Maybe
the thing is, there's no guns. There's no drugs. He's just out there cutting beards.
Just clippers.
Yeah.
How to run a cult with clippers.
No buzzers, dude. Only shears.
So we were in Amish country in Ohio driving through, and Tiffany took a picture of one of the guys in his horse and carriage, and that's a big no-no. They don't want pictures taken of them.
Yeah.
And so the guy saw her do it and gave her the death stare. And then everyone else in our car, friends that we were with, were like, "You can't take pictures." And she's like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
So there's an Amish. She stole his soul.
I was going to say that's probably what happened.
It's pretty crazy, dude. Listen to this guy. They're a caricature of what we think they are.
Yeah.
In terms of not using technology.
Yeah.
They don't use anything at all, dude. All clothes handmade. They only bathe once a week because it takes so long to heat the water and bathe all 15 kids. And it's just nuts what this guy had to go through. And his whole thing is I hear so many people that want to join the Amish community because of the lifestyle. But he's like, I tell them don't, dude, because what you're not seeing, what you don't know about is the religious cult behind.
The control.
Yeah.
It's very controlling.
Total control.
Yeah, very controlling.
And you don't want to be called the Amish barber.
Yeah. Well, that bowl cuts, that's another thing. He has to, when he goes to visit his mom, he has to wear full Amish clothing. And this is something they had to get special permission because once you leave, you can't come back.
Wow.
And he has to wear a hat the whole time because he doesn't have the traditional bowl cut, and which is disrespectful.
Huh.
So, anyways, that's the rabbit hole I've been on.
That's interesting. Well, speaking of disrespectful, I wanted to share, Alex, you don't know about this, Sermonauts. I've had a little game that I've played with friends over the years. Before I was in ministry, I was in the corporate world, business world, and we would be like on a Zoom call or a training on software because I worked for a software company. And I would, my friends that worked with me, I would assign them words or phrases to work into the conversation during our meeting. So it would be something it could be something very simple like yellow corn. And they have to somehow, during this meeting, say yellow corn and work it in somehow. And so I remembered that. And so friend of the podcast, Brandon, who he and his wife are youth pastors, when he and I went to Pakistan, on the way back, there was a lady sitting in between us on the airplane.
Geez. Who booked the flight tickets?
Well, we were trying to see, we were hoping it'd be empty, and it was empty on the way there, but not on the way back. So,
man,
and dude, she was a talker, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, she was so we started texting each other words and phrases to work into the conversation. It was hilarious. I mean, they got more and more bizarre. We were super punchy anyway. So yesterday we have our pastor's lunch after staff meeting where we're just kind of going over pastoral things and making sure we're all on the same page. So I text Eric and Brandon, I say, hey, during this lunch, we have to each work in the following words. Brandon's was Abercrombie and Fitch model, and Eric's was my balloon tiger popped. And then I said, send me one. And so Eric says, you have to say, that's when I knew the squirrels were unionizing. So, I was impressed. So we're talking about Brandon having to go to the doctor because he got they had a paint war.
Yeah, he got an ear infection because someone threw color powder into his ear canal.
Yeah, they had a color war, and the doctor was like, what in the world's going on? Sermon, I need to let you know how proud I am of this moment. All three of us, within 30 seconds of one another, delivered the line, and nobody there thought anything.
It was wild. It was like we went from squirrels unionizing to tiger balloons popping to Abercrombie and Fitch models in like 3 sentences.
And it made perfect sense.
Yeah.
But that made me think, how weird are we?
Yeah.
That the rest of the staff heard us say those things and didn't even think anything of it.
Yeah. You sent me another one about like tickle your elbow.
Did I? Wait, what?
Someone sent me one about like...
No, that must have been Brandon.
Oh, a phrase about tickle my elbow.
Yeah, he instead of the group, he started sending us individual stuff.
Oh, and then I slipped it in right to Cynthia, and I was like, look, just tell them, we're not trying to tickle their elbow. We're just trying to...
I heard you say that. I was like, what did he mean by that?
Cynthia just does like a...
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Let's see.
I posted this week a congratulations to my daughter for being employee of the month.
I saw it. Is she your only employee?
No, but she's my only employee.
Right.
And my quote to her was, "You are the wind beneath my wings."
Yeah.
And so like people are all on the
that's so sweet.
Congratulations, this is awesome. She's a good one. And like it's like she's texted everybody going, I didn't post that. She just wants everybody to know that she wasn't the one who posted that.
That's so funny, dude.
I saw that.
I saw it too, and I was like, I thought to myself, like, I didn't want to comment because like maybe he's just trying to be nice, but I'm like, is she the only employee?
I knew exactly what you're doing.
You were the wind beneath my wings. Come on.
Yeah.
You should have next time record a video of you singing that song.
That would be.
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
I told my wife she was trying to decide if this was a bad thing. I'm like, no, Anna's in on it. She gets it.
Yeah.
If she wasn't in on it, then that would just be being mean.
Yeah. That's funny.
That was funny.
Nobody else. No, one person texted and said, y'all play too much.
You do too much, Alex. I'm from Holland. Isn't that weird?
You're weird.
There we go. Someone got that reference. Anyways, guys, we're out here on an island by myself here.
You're doing great.
Thanks, Alex, for the laugh, brother. We're moving into a segment that we do here on Not the Sermon called Weird Worship, where we think about
weird worship.
We talk about all things weird and all things worship. If you've been in the Christian community for any amount of time, you know sometimes people do too much on worship. They really do too much. And so we like to talk about that, isolate it, and publicly shame it. But this episode, I stumbled across a really interesting tidbit of information. It was on an Instagram reel, and it's I want to ask you guys if y'all are familiar with this concept, the concept of the worship mafia that is in operation right now in the CCM world.
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I call it also known as the worship cabal.
The cabal.
And just like the 5 churches?
Yes. Yeah. So it's a video, and her angle towards the end is really more towards feminism. It's about like how like there's not a lot of ladies writing songs, but she introduces some very scary facts about the modern worship industry and the control, like the handful of people who are writing all the songs for the past 20 years. And so I'm going to play this, and you guys are both, I'm just going to listen to y'all talk because I don't know anything about worship stuff.
Well, he's going to be against whatever it is. So.
That hurts.
But it's true.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, this information kind of hurt me when I heard it. So
I
know exactly what you.
I have not heard this.
I've heard it, and it hurt my feelings too.
So, and this is like, and I'm going to preface this with,
my feelings weren't really hurt. That's kind of a...
You just weren't shocked. But if you listen to any of these people, like, this is not like a blanket condemnation or anything. It's just some interesting information about where all the worship music has come from the past 20 years. So let's go ahead and do this.
Song guys and the Bethel people and the Elevation people. It's just a family. And
turns out he was right. It is a family. Just not a family of churches. Well, at least not anymore. We looked at the first 5 years of the 2020s, and in that time, 51 new songs appeared in the CCLI Top 100, written by over 100 different writers. But not a single one of those songs was written solo. And the big 4 church silos, they're not gone, they're just no longer in charge. An industry that used to be ruled by church networks is now a songwriting family of people. More fluid, more relational, and more concentrated than ever. For example, Phil Wickham is credited on 10 of the 51 songs. And he's been writing across the board, with Bethel, Elevation, everywhere he wants to be. Or Brandon Lake, with 13 songwriting credits in the last 5 years alone. That's 1 in every 4 new CCLI Top 100 songs so far this decade. He started with Bethel in 2019, then Elevation, Maverick City, Sons of Sunday, even Jelly Roll. He didn't just collaborate. He leapfrogged institutions that helped him rise and is now becoming one almost himself. And here's the other constant. Of those 100 writers, fewer than 25 of them are women. Not a single song in the CCLI Top 100 this decade was written solely by women. Brooke Lidgerwood is the only one with at least 3 song credits.
That's not true.
In late 2024, a new collective formed. They call themselves Sons of Sunday. Stephen Furtick, Brandon Lake, Chandler Moore, a family, sure, but not one with daughters. You can read the whole article at work.
Okay.
All right, so first of all...
She had an angle there.
She did, and I want to call her out because Jen Johnson is another one with a ton of worship songs in the CCLI Top 100.
That's not the video I saw, by the way.
Yeah, so let me, because her music was too loud. But let me summarize.
And she was playing chess while she was talking.
I wonder who wrote that music.
Yeah, exactly. So let me...
Probably some male.
Let me summarize what stood out to me was that... I made a mistake. It was actually over the past 5 years, but there's only been about 5 different churches or worship groups that are dominated by like the same 6 or 7 people. So you have like Bethel, you have Hillsong, you've got Elevation, and a couple other, you guys know them, I don't. But of those 4 or 5 groups, it's like the same 10 to 12 people writing all of the songs that are being published, at least in the top. So I wanted to see, because to me what that says is it seems like with any industry, there seems to be some gatekeeping. And it seems like it's really, really hard for an artist to break through that. In the same way, like with car brands, right? You have like your big car brands. It's impossible to start a new car brand now, unless you have billions and billions of dollars. It seems like unless you are platformed by one of these huge church networks or worship networks, you're not going to get a song in the top.
Okay, so yes, to a degree. There is definitely some gatekeeping going on. I wouldn't say it's intentional. It's not nefarious. It's not, we got to keep the women out. I don't think that's what's going on.
That's not what I gleaned from that.
I think what's happened is people have formed relationships, and she kind of spoke to this some. People formed relationships. They like writing. There are people who are really good at writing worship songs because, dude, writing a worship song is hard. Like your vocabulary is squished down to only a few words compared to your average song, right? And so, and it's got to be congregational, something that people would sing. It's got to be biblical. Well, sometimes, and so it's really hard to write. So when you find someone who's a good writer, you're going to want to bring them in. Now, here's what she's missing. There is a dude, and I've met this dude. He's a good guy. His name is Jason Ingram. Jason Ingram has written on more songs in the top CCLI 100 than I would say, I haven't done the math, but I would say anyone else, including an artist like Phil Wickham or whoever else. The guy is a songwriting genius. I just got back from a conference with worship leaders in Orlando, and he was there with some others, and he was kind of, sharing songs and stuff like that. And it's crazy. Jason Ingram, as a matter of fact, I pulled up the CCLI top 100, and Sermonaut, you can do this too. Just Google CCLI top 100, and you'll see them. So like, for instance, number 1 right now is Holy Forever. And here are the songwriters on it. It's Brian Johnson, Jen Johnson, Phil Wickham, which is funny. Like, Phil Wickham doesn't sing that song, but he wrote
it.
Yeah, he wrote on that song. And so, and then also Jason Ingram. And so you look at these, you look at all these songs, and they'll tell you who the songwriters are. And these songwriters, they're getting paid good money, because if you don't know how I'm sorry, I know I'm talking a lot. This is kind of my thing. Yeah. If you don't know how CCLI works, it's a license that churches pay in order to be able to perform, and copy lyrics, project lyrics on a screen.
It's honestly a very beneficial program, because without it, we'd be stuck with not great songs all the time.
It's a wonderful thing, and we pay a CCLI. It's based on how many people are a part of your congregation. And
it also keeps you from having to type in, "I do not own the rights to this music" in all of your videos.
That's right. Because you've got a license that handles it. So, also Chris Tomlin was on Holy Forever. Goodness of God. That's number 2. That's Brian and Jen Johnson, Jason Ingram as well. And a guy named Ed Cash and Ben Fielding. Ed Cash is a producer with Chris Tomlin. Ben Fielding's a writer from Hillsong. Yeah. So I think she's overinflating this a little bit. Yeah. It is true. It's really hard. I used to write worship music, and I would love to get a song cut by an artist. That would be amazing. But it is very, 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 very.
I was going to say, for you as a worship artist who has a couple CDs and has written a bunch of songs, though, like it was difficult for even you to do that. Like, you had to do all self-producing and all self-recording. But then, and I imagine you went through a stage of trying to pitch your music. Like, how hard was it? Like, did you come up against a rendition of this barrier when you were trying to produce your music?
So I had a song called Hope Remains that was pretty well received. Another one called You Are Wonderful that was being done in churches besides my own, but I wasn't even on the CCLI list. Like, you couldn't even choose that song. If a church was reporting, they couldn't even choose my song to report.
Yeah.
So Jason Ingram, this savant songwriter, hears, and I'm with him at a conference. He hears the song Hope Remains, and he's like, dude, that's a great song. And then that's it. Like, but what do you, what do you do with that? What, right? I'm some nobody in Georgia. I'm not going to uproot my life, move to Nashville, and try to be a songwriter, right? So I appreciate that he liked it. The whole panel liked it, but it's hey, good song, good job.
Yeah,
that's it. So you have to give your life.
Well, let's be constructive then, because I know this is something that you dedicated a large portion of your life to. You don't seem to hate it. You seem to recognize that it's there and it's, serves a purpose. But what part of this would you change? Like, is there an aspect of it that is unfair to grassroots writers? Alex?
Yeah. Go for it.
I would write songs of the church.
Yes. That's what I was about to say,
we should be writing church for our church.
Yeah.
Because let's just be honest. I mean, I've said this before. It's a business.
Yeah.
It's not a ministry. Like, they write songs that are used for ministry. They're giving you tools to minister to each other. And the video that I saw was basically talking about that there are 5 churches that put out 90% of the songs that are sung on every Sunday. And that's pretty accurate.
I wouldn't say churches, maybe collectives, because I think you got to put Maverick City and Passion in there. And of course, Passion City Church is a church.
Well, and the other thing is, because it's a business, songwriters go where work is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you look at like Josh Baldwin, who started off at Morning Star. And Morning Star was hot probably 20, 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of, John Mark is still there, but his dad was the pastor. And so Josh moves to where?
John Mark McMillan.
Yeah, John Mark, sorry. And so then Josh Baldwin goes to Bethel. And so there's something... You go where the work is.
Well, you're right. Brandon Lake is from Seacoast Church in Charleston, South Carolina, was the worship guy, started writing songs. Songs were good. They start, moving it locally, and then he goes to Bethel, right? And then he gets involved with Elevation. Then he gets involved with Maverick, like she said on her video. Now he's everywhere, right? He's like the cranberry of worship music, because cranberries, always mixed in with other juices.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
Right.
I got it.
Anyways,
I liked it.
So what I'm hearing is there is a part of at least what they're doing, writing nationally or internationally known worship songs. Like, if you want to do that, you've got to play in that system.
Yeah.
But what we're lacking, or what we're failing to realize, is we can still do that in our local church.
Our
and that's
creativity is lost. Like, it's just, it's, I don't necessarily mean a victory. I mean, like, in the local church, there's no room for creativity.
Right.
It's just not fostered. It's not encouraged.
It's so much easier to do a Phil Wickham song.
It's absolutely easier.
Because it's a banger. He writes bangers.
He's a great songwriter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no, and that's why they want him on all of them, because that's what he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, surgeons want to do surgery and songwriters want to write songs. And when you bring people in that are good, you bring them in. So, but there's just no effort into creativity. Right. And like that, there's something to the creativity of God's people. We have people at our church.
Yeah.
I know that if we spent time putting the effort into it, we could put out some songs that, I don't care if they're bangers. They're songs of our heart.
Right.
They're songs of our heart to our God. And that they're affecting our people. They're ministering to our people and what we're going through, not what other churches. Yes. And so it's our voice now, and not the voice of some other church of people that we don't really know other than through YouTube videos.
Right. Yes. There was a time when I wanted to write a song that everyone would sing in their churches. And now, like, that part of me is gone. Mm-hmm. It was the Jamie 1.0. Now I'm with you, Alex. I would love for our team to write songs. Who cares if anyone else likes them? But they represent the heart of our church and how we're relating to God in this moment. And so that would be awesome. But the problem is, you're right. It's a business. And honestly, songwriting is one of the few ways to make money in Christian music right now. You only make money because of Spotify and streaming services. You don't make money through selling albums anymore. Mm-hmm. There's no longer like CDs to buy. Instead, now, streaming pays nothing, literally fractions of pennies per stream. So the way to make money in Christian music is A, to write songs people sing on Sunday morning, or B, tour. And either one, you got to pretty much give your whole life to in order to be successful at it.
Or T-shirts.
Or T-shirt, yeah, merch, for sure. Okay, so
we're floating in space.
The Patreon subscribers know that for some reason during that music, Eric and Alex are floating. They're doing this weird floating. Is there a name for that besides being on drugs? Don't touch my coffee.
Pour your coffee out.
No, don't do that.
It's the spacewalk.
So, well, that's a great intro, because this is called odd news.
Odd news, everyone.
It's
Odd
one word.
news.
Everyone. Odd news.
Odd news day.
Odd news. We haven't done this at all in season 3, man. This is the first time.
First one?
It's our first seggy for odd news. And so I found this article and I thought it was like super interesting. And so I want to get you guys' take on it. So it's called "Are Christians Hotter?"
Oh, sizzle, baby. Sizzle. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I'm
gonna blush.
It's by Christianity Today. And it says this: the social media Jesus glow trend is just another kind of prosperity gospel.
I'm on my aura.
So here's I'll just read a little bit of this. It says some Christian women on the internet seem convinced that Jesus wants them to be holy and hot. If you search Jesus glow up on Instagram or TikTok, the first video to show will likely follow a template. First, there's a variation on the words, the Jesus glow isn't real, that people do to debunk it. But there are also a series of photos or videos showing users in their pre-glow up days, that's before they committed their life to Christ, and then their after images meant to provide evidence of their newfound devotion has noticeable physical effects.
Yes, it does.
And so often the videos are set to a mashup of Olivia Rodrigo's song,
I
Deja Vu.
actually, when I became a Christian, I started sweating coconut oil and shea butter. It glows the skin.
Started sweating holy oil. So I'll read this last part, then we can discuss. One influencer posted a before video of herself wearing club clothes, a spiked collar, and dramatic makeup. But after, she poses and twirls for the camera in long, flowy dresses and skirts. Another user has shared pictures of her heavily made up face and collection of crystals, but after the Jesus glow up,
crystals,
she's wearing a cross necklace and reading the King James Bible.
And she's probably a smoke show or something in that second picture.
Yeah. So here's the question: does following Jesus, is there a way in which it can make you more physically attractive?
Whatever TikTok says.
Well, look, this is something that the angels, us angels, have known for a really long time. I mean, we're beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you look into the scriptures, you'll see every time someone sees us, they fall down in fear of how stinking beautiful we are.
Oh, I don't remember going like that. I don't think it was beautiful. I think it was just scary.
Yeah. What happened? I just passed out.
Oh yeah, no, an angel took over your body.
No, I think that's funny.
And it was beautiful for a moment.
Look, so
it does work.
It does work.
I've complained in the past of people saying I look like Jeffrey Dahmer, or not Jeffrey Dahmer. Not that's the
Screech.
Screech. Who is the? Oh no, the cult guy.
I don't know, but I put your face on Joel.
Yeah,
Joel
you put my
Osteen
face
this
on
week.
Joel
Waco
Osteen.
guy?
Yeah, the Waco guy. Yeah,
yeah.
But recently, people have been saying I look like Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
And I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't saved until a few weeks ago. I've just been playing the game, and then I got saved, and all of a sudden,
You
people
just got a fresh touch from the Holy Spirit.
I did.
And now you look like Matthew McConaughey.
But now let's be real, it's totally fake, and it's just people just Instagram farming for views and stuff. But I will say though, there's something beautiful about holiness.
I think beauty is different
Well, for you, it has to be because you don't fit the traditional standard of beauty.
Because I'm really hot. Because I'm extremely hot. I know this is I know why y'all came up with this subject.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not pretend.
Well, dude, me and Jamie have been blushing this whole time looking at you, dude.
Look, it's hard. It's hard to be this good looking, man.
You got a little sparkle.
And you're so humble.
I will.
But my point is that there's an attractiveness, obviously, that women have toward towards men or men towards women, but there's something different when you can see in someone's eyes, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like there are things that are beautiful about people that aren't always skin deep, right? Sometimes it's a lot deeper than that. Yeah. And
you got good organs.
And you
got really beautiful organs.
The liver's looking good, girl.
Some fava beans would really help that out. Sorry, the Silence of the Lambs.
No, it was awesome. My mind went somewhere else.
Yeah, thanks.
But so there's something to the beauty that's within, right? Like, and I'm not just saying that because I'm an ugly dude. I'm saying that this is something I hope, right? But honestly,
Jesus thinks you're pretty.
You can look in someone's eyes and see something different than in the bloodshot eyes of a party girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's kind of where I was going to go with this is like, obviously you don't pray the prayer and boom, you lose 20 pounds, right? The change, the Reformation.
I've tried.
Yeah. I prayed for that too. The Reformation is inside, right? We are a new creation on the inside, and then we work out our salvation, that inward change. But it's kind of like if you've ever seen a woman who's pregnant and they got that glow. People talk about that pregnancy glow. It's real, man. And like I've seen new Christians, I wouldn't call it attractive, right? That's the wrong word. But they've got a spark, and they've got like they're excited about life, and they're new, and they seem like clean spiritually. So I do think there is a glow up of sorts, or there can be a glow up of sorts, but it's not like physical attraction.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's not Instagram filter.
Right, exactly.
That's just changing your clothes and fixing your hair.
I think you're right too, and I think we are spiritual beings, and I think there's something to like all the crystal girls who like walk around like, oh, I love your aura. I think there is something spirit. You guys,
is that a thing?
Yes,
I don't know what you're
totally a thing.
I don't know where you've been hanging out.
I don't either. Probably
go there. But anyways, but there's something to being connected to someone spiritually and recognizing as a believer in Christ someone else that has that too.
Yeah.
Not just in like an attractive sense, but even in like a friendship. Or I've been around people like other guys, other people, and I'm like, I want to know them.
Yeah.
Like they have a really cool. There's something about them that I want to know.
Definitely. And there is definitely, there are times, and some listeners will think I'm just making this up, and that's fine. There are times I see someone across the room, I know that they are a spirit-filled Christian.
That's right.
I can sense the presence of the Lord on and in their lives. And it is attractive spiritually, not physically.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I understand, but of course, as with Instagram, TikTok, and the shallowness of those worlds, it's more physical. It's like, hey, I'm following Jesus, and I cut my hair and I dyed it blonde instead of black, and I'm no longer, have dark gothy makeup on.
Look, instead of being on them GLP ones, you need to be on the one.
The Jesus one.
Yeah. It's have you seen the reels where it's like the enemy thought they had me, and it's like, yes, you have. I sent you some.
I haven't seen your
reels.
reels.
Are not setting me up. Anyways, keep going on.
Did you set them on Facebook Messenger?
No, I didn't set them on Messenger.
I must say, because I haven't seen it if it's on Messenger.
Because he has a lot of friends on there.
Okay, boomer.
I just don't have time, man.
So if you're hoping that you'll look prettier or more handsome from believing in Jesus,
pray this prayer after me.
You're wrong. I always heard if you was bald before you got saved, you're going to be bald after you got saved, right?
But let's just be honest, though. Like, if you change your life and you start dressing different, and you like that is more attractive.
That could be more attractive.
Like so from that perspective, some of those people they went out of their way to make themselves look ugly to begin with, and so. But if you're partying and you're the
battling addiction,
a woo girl,
or you got meth mouth.
What is a woo girl?
Woo!
I've never heard that before.
They're like in the club,
okay,
with their hand up in the air. But like so like if that's you, and then God changes your life, and you start dressing differently, and you start putting on different makeup, that's absolutely attractive.
Sure, absolutely.
So from that perspective. Maybe.
Yeah, if you came out of addiction, I mean, like being addicted to drugs and alcohol, dude, that'll do a number on your physical appearance. And so if you get clean from that, you get free from that, then you'll probably look a little bit better.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hate does not look good on you.
I don't know. I beg to differ. They're doing that weird floaty thing again. Y'all have to stop that.
We're floating with the sermonites.
So weird, man.
All right, so our last segment is we're going to be doing a little pestering. I'm going to pester you, dude.
Oh, just like every day.
Yeah. Pester the Pastor is a segment where we just I have a question. It could be pastoral, it could be faith, it could just be a regular life question. I just pester Jamie, or we pester each other about it, and give you like a regular dude answer.
Okay.
And this one is something I've struggled with in the past, but it hasn't really been a big issue here. But I know it's an issue for a lot of churches, and it's the issue of metrics, right? And so that's the idea that we need to keep track of how much money is coming in, how many people are in attendance,
nickels and noses,
butts
and bucks. metrics.
Yes. And so, and like how many people came to this event? How many people got saved at this event? And sometimes, people are a little uncomfortable when you talk about that. They're like, well, why are we keeping metrics? I mean, didn't God condemn David in the Old Testament for taking a census? And
some churches put it up on their wall so that everybody can see it.
Dude, back in the day, that's funny. Like, they did that back in the day. I don't see that a lot now. But I have seen old churches that have tithe and attendance boards right out in the foyer.
It's because discouragement is real.
Yeah, shaming. But now people are a little hinky about that. They're like, should we be keeping metrics, or should we just be trusting that the Lord is going to bring the right people at the right time?
Well, I'm hinky about the word hinky. I don't think you should have used that.
That's coming from the dude.
Seggy dude.
Yeah, seggy dude. And on that note,
these seggies are not hinky.
I'm mixing real life and podcast life right now. You sent an email out yesterday where you called our house church pastors houseies.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
It's not
You're so proud of yourself.
It's not a podcast gag that he's doing. This is real life.
You can see his face right now. Like there's so much.
I'm turning red.
There's so much pride in that.
He's like, "What's up, houseies?"
What's up, houseies?
And I was like, "Really, dude? Come on!"
I thought it was funny.
I did that.
I thought it was funny.
But anyway, so yeah, people are a little.
I did that.
People are a little bit weird about keeping up with church metrics. They think that maybe it waters down the gospel, it waters down the mission. Maybe even leaders and pastors can get hijacked by those numbers. What are your thoughts on that?
All right. So I have a question for everyone listening. How many people did Jesus feed with the loaves and the fishes?
The lotions?
The lotions.
The lotions?
The lotions.
How many people did Jesus give lotion to?
How many people did he feed with the fish and the bread?
5,000.
Okay. How do we know that?
Because
someone counted. All right. The first sermon in the New Testament where Peter preached, how many got saved?
3,000.
3,000. How do we know that?
Because someone counted.
Someone counted. How many people were in the upper room? 120. How do we know that? Because someone counted. So is counting attendance in and of itself a bad thing? Of course not. It's not. It's keeping up with information. Now, when does it become bad? When it becomes the point. Right. And that's where, and it's the same with giving. Like, you've got to know how much, someone needs to.
You got to calculate the costs.
Someone's got to bring in the offering and deposit it into the bank and then pay bills. Right. So there is a organizational aspect to the finances of a church.
Well, Judas was counting the money for Jesus.
Well, exactly. And he was also robbing the money from Jesus. He was stealing from him. And so, for me, as the lead pastor, now when we were smaller and didn't have as much staff, I was much more involved with that kind of stuff. Now I don't. I wait, and on Tuesday, someone else, does the offering and tells me how much came in. But I don't look at individual giving. I have no idea how much either of y'all have given to the church.
And let's just say that's a good thing.
I'm sure it is, but that's to keep myself free from worrying about it, because I don't want to be sitting across from some dude and thinking, this guy hasn't given a dime, and here he is talking for 2 hours, right? Or this guy gives a bunch of money and he's going to request something and I need to give him, right? So I want to remain innocent of all that, but we do need to keep up with how much income, right, the church has with attendance. And here's when it goes off, and you mentioned, David, taking a census. So the reason, there's nothing wrong with taking a census, but the reason it was wrong for David is 1 Chronicles 21, verse 1, New Living Translation. Satan rose up against Israel and caused David to take a census of the people. So David said to Joab, the commanders of the army, take a census of all the people and bring me a report so I may know how many they are, read between the lines here, so that I can go to battle. So David was trying to figure out, do I have enough people to go to war? And this was not a war that God had instructed him to do. Mm-hmm. It was his own flesh. This was a fleshly endeavor.
So he was taking a little Cincy.
He was taking a little Cincy, yeah.
Yeah, so my thing is someone that I have to, metrics are helpful for me in my position, like knowing how many people are attending our school ministry, Sunday school thing.
Well, you won't get your bonus without it.
I won't get my bonus. Knowing how many people are saved. I'll tell you.
That was a joke.
To me, where it crosses the line is when the church gets into an information marketing mindset. And we had a conversation recently about this because we happened upon a lot lot of information from people, and it was, I mean, they knew what they were doing when they gave it. We didn't know we were going to get this information, and we were sitting there having this conversation, and I was like, it's useful. It can be made useful. But like, if you don't have a place or a purpose for the information, I don't need it.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to collect your email unless I need to communicate with you. I don't need to collect how many people were there unless it's for me to know how to prepare for it.
How many people in your congregation play Pokemon?
Like, I don't need that information. I don't need that. Like, we are not marketers. We don't need to collect every little pixel of information so that we could spam people or try to get them to do something in a dishonest way.
Right.
That's where I think churches cross the line. That's where I think, like, because we even have like a follow-up system where people who want to be contacted will fill out a Connect card, like every church in America has, and then I will reach out to them using the information they provided. If they only give me an email, they only get an email. If they get a phone number, they might get a text or a call. But also I stop. These people get 2 weeks worth of communication from me. They get the initial, and then they get a re-invite, and then if I don't hear from them after that, they're done. They're off. Because we're not here to spam people or keep track of useless information.
Well, and if they only come to church because they respond to our texts or emails, then their heart's not right.
Yeah, like this is not their time.
They aren't coming because they want to grow nearer to Jesus. They're coming because we're badgering them, and that's not good.
But on the flip side, you're right. Like, churches, if you're not like, keeping up with your metrics, you're not going to be able to do the thing that God has called you to do. Like, if you're a growing congregation and the Lord's placed it in your heart to build a new sanctuary or to do a new ministry, you need to know how much money is coming in.
Count the cost.
Know how much the long-term costs are going to be. Like, you need to keep up with these metrics. It's not just and like we talk about giving units.
Yeah.
So in the insider language here, a giving unit is someone who both attends and gives. That person is different than someone who just attends, right? Because someone who's giving is connected to your vision. If we have a giving unit, that tells us we have at least a person who is sold out to what we're doing. They're going to be more responsive to the mission work that we do here. Yeah. That's a good piece of information to have.
Yeah,
why are you smiling at me?
Because I'm thinking of a joke I'm not going to say. Here's the other thing too. I mentioned nickels and noses, or attendance and giving. Those are the two metrics.
Bucks and butts.
That's right. Those are the two metrics churches historically have focused on. I don't think those are attendance is a measure of health, but not the measure of health, because a great cult leader can get a big group together. Mm-hmm. A secular business can generate revenue, right? So that doesn't mean that we are doing what Jesus has told us to do just because we have a high attendance or high giving rates. So I have a couple other metrics and about these, that I look to determine, are we being successful in what God has called us to? One is, what percentage of people that attend our church were not attending another church before they came here? Mm-hmm. Because that signifies someone either discovering or rediscovering their relationship with Jesus. Well, that number for us is between 35 and 40%, which is very high for a church. And so that makes me super happy. Now, we have experienced a little bit more transfer growth in this last year or two. We built a new sanctuary. People see it. They're like, whoa, cool looking church.
People write drive-by on how did you hear about VFC? We call those people drive-bys.
Yes. And that's okay. Like, that's fine. If the Lord moves on someone to transfer from another church, that's okay. But what really makes us happy is when someone discovers or rediscovers their faith. So we keep that metric. That's something that we measure. Where are you coming from?
I don't know. Right? I'm a transfer portal guy. I like seeing like a high capacity volunteer from another church going in and taking the NIL. No, I'm just kidding.
Alex just woke up. College football.
I've been alive the whole time.
Here's another metric.
I'm hoping number 2 is baptism, at least.
Yeah.
There you go. Here's another metric that we measure that I think is very important, more than just attendance and giving, is what percentage of our Sunday morning attendance is engaged at another point throughout the week. Mm-hmm. Usually Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wednesdays.
For us, it's house churches, but for others, it'll be youth. It'll be life groups. It'll be cell groups, small groups, or whatever, Bible studies. That is a huge statistic, because I could have a bajillion people attending Sunday morning and they're not engaged throughout the week in any sort of discipleship, that's a loss, man.
Yeah.
That's not okay. And so historically, we've had pretty good 65% of our Sunday morning attendance is engaged on Wednesday nights or at another sort of.
And so the most valuable metric is when two metrics meet.
Yeah.
It's when they go from attending to giving or attending to getting plugged into a discipleship.
Right.
It's when two things meet tells us that this person is plugged in.
I want to measure health.
Yeah.
These are, and I never thought of it like that, but you're exactly right. What we're doing is we're putting two different metrics together and using one to contextualize the other. But that's, I want to measure, was that the Eric got something right thing?
Mm-hmm. Okay. He'd like for you to say it. Alex, Eric was right.
Eric was right. I mean, there you go. All right. But those are measures of health, not just measures of growth.
Yep. That's good.
And those are two different things.
Yeah.
And look, on the whole David and the census thing, honestly, we were just throwing a party down in the desert. And he saw us, and look, we get a little rowdy down there, and it may have seemed like we were about to try to, fight him or something, but we were just throwing a little kegger, and he freaked out.
Sorry, guys, our podcast just got shut down by the IRS.
I'm no longer floating after that heavy dose of IRS ranting.
Sermonot in between segments, also known as seggies. Alex and I were privileged to hear a rant by Eric on the church and taxes and all that kind of stuff. Don't rehash it. It's okay.
I'm no longer floating.
So what I said, I'm just kidding.
I think it was hell.
No, it was good. I completely agree with everything that you said.
Let's summarize the episode. So there is a scary worship cabal that's in control of all things worship.
Yeah.
Christians are hotter than non-Christians.
Well, some of
us. Churches keep metrics so pastors can be millionaires. Thank you for listening to
Not the Sermon.
Thanks for listening. This podcast is a production of Victory Fellowship Church in Thomasville, Georgia. Eric and Jamie can be reached at emailing notthesermon@gmail.com.
Father to the fatherless, defender of the little kids, gracious and compassionate, wasn't